Okay, my name is Addie Pinkston. There are approximately 350 users of Qualtrax in SABIC, and my position is engineering tech and slash Qualtrax administrator. Mainly, the one thing that Qualtrax has done really well for our organization is the simplification of getting procedures reviewed, revalidated, and back out to the published state, because that was a nightmare for everybody with the paper. So we've been using Qualtrax for well over 12 years now. Okay, so quality and compliance before Qualtrax was managed, of course, using paper and people to do audits manually. So now we still do manual audits, but everything is electronic, so you can, with a click of a button, you can find the information that you need and not hunt down 50 people or more to answer questions. You can go to Qualtrax and find all the documentation. And it's not just quality. As far as compliance, we have an abundance of audits. So everybody knows that our documents are housed in Qualtrax, and you can find information pretty easily in Qualtrax. Qualtrax was adopted pretty easily in 2002 by our employees. Of course, we did the manual upload of documents and procedures, but then once everybody was trained to use Qualtrax, it was very easy for everybody to go in and, take a test or review a procedure or just anything that they needed to do without having to, keep track of paper. As far as our industry, we have lots of systems, but as far as, being able to locate documents fast, efficiently, I think Qualtrax is better than some of the other systems that we use. And the other systems that we use are not for procedures and that kind of thing, but it's more compliance-related training and that other topics. Qualtrax is paid for itself because the employees who use Qualtrax, there's not any frustration of knowing when they need to do something because they are alerted, using an email. They get emails constantly from Qualtrax, on work that they have to do or, just to go in Qualtrax and take a test or whatever. Here lately, we've been audited about 7 times a year or more. We have what is called SHIMS. That is regulation by our, what do you want to call it, the plant that owns us, SABIC, and that's Safety, Health, Environmental Management Systems. And then we have any kind of EPA or regulatory agencies coming in to audit, as well as quality. And of course, we have ISO 9001. We have RC 14001. So all of those agencies are, we're compliant to. Audit preparation used to be, you had to prepare weeks in advance for an audit because you had to gather so much paperwork. Now it's a matter of knowing which standards you're being audited to and then going into Qualtrax and seeing which documents are relative to the standards. So that's made it, I don't know, cut it in, I couldn't even say half. It's probably less than half the time. We've experienced a lot fewer findings because of Qualtrax. When we were manual, if you had a document that was current in one area and not current in another, an auditor would see that as a nonconformance. So now you have that document, and if it's current, it's current, and if it's not, everybody sees the same thing. So that has been a tremendous help as far as reducing findings. It's very easy to search for information in Qualtrax. You can search by keyword, you can search by document ID number, and in comparison, before, you had to go to manuals You had to wonder if it was filed in the right place, who had it, who's supposed to have it, that kind of thing. So in Qualtrax, you can search and find that document very easily.
Explain how employee testing in Qualtrax has helped you to track that employees are trained on important procedures and policies.
The implementation and training team was very available, even for questions that we didn't know how to phrase, as to how to ask that question. They would work through all of that and get to an answer for us. We also have the Qualtrax team come out doing upgrades, and whenever we request training, they make themselves available to come out and do some specified training for the plant site.